Singapore is one of the most expensive countries in the world, and I have to survive this expensive country with just $99 to my name. Needless to say, this is not gonna be easy. This is a challenge I'm doing throughout my Southeast Asia backpacking route. So here's the plan. I'm gonna be starting with Singapore and ensuring I stay on the $99 budget, which is gonna be difficult. But from that, I'm gonna take none other than a bus all the way to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, only to fly over to Vietnam, exploring almost all of the country, and finally ending it all in beautiful Thailand. All this while trying to maintain a $99 for each destination. So if you're interested in budget travel, this is the channel for you. But I should probably tell you this. Out of all the countries I've traveled to, this challenge in Singapore has been the hardest. So without further ado, let the adventure begin. Have you ever had one of those days where nothing goes to plan? Well, here's mine in Singapore. I got to my hostel nice and early at 1 p.m. ready to start my adventure, but there was just one problem.
Could not get into the hostel, and they asked me to call this number, but nobody's here.
After calling this number numerous times, guess what? Nobody answered.
It looks not very nice down, but I think upstairs it's gonna be very nice. I have to say the location of the K Space 14 was actually much better. It was near Chinatown, it was nice. This one, I'm not really sure where it is, but it does seem like it's far away from everything else.
Did I ever mention my hostel has a 1-star rating? Yeah, 1 star. So I thought I'm just gonna wait 15 minutes because that's what the sign said, right? 15 minutes, right? I mean, surely if they're late, I might just have to wait like 30 minutes.
I'm gonna call the number again, but also I give up.
I mean, worst case scenario, maybe somebody's on their lunch break and I'm just gonna have to wait an hour, right? I even had time to get some noodles from a store nearby. Somebody finally got me. 2 hours and 30 minutes later.
So my goal was to stay in the space capsule for 2 nights, and for that I had to pay 94 Singaporean dollars. So all this means is that I only have 39 Singaporean dollars left to spend for the next 2 days. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't done my research. I don't know what there is to do in Little India, and it's actually pretty late now. I think that my favorite thing about going on a holiday is like literally just walking around and like not having a destination to go, just like seeing where I end up, seeing where life takes me, seeing who I come across. And this is literally my first day ever vlogging. Check out this cool temple. Little India. I think everything seems to be closed here. So if that's the case, I'm gonna go to the center of Singapore. Right, okay, so according to this, there's a bunch of temples and they all open at 5 p.m. It's 4:56 now. Let's do it. What I found really cool about Singapore is, although I am in Singapore, it's actually a country filled of mostly 4 different cultures. So those cultures being Indian, Chinese, Malay, and obviously Singaporean. Side note, because of the mix of this culture in Singapore, guess what? The cuisine in Singapore is so varied and it's so good. So it's something you have to try if you're ever in the country. Imagine Indian spices mixed with Chinese food, mixed with Malaysian food. It's just a bit of everything. On my next trip to Malaysia, in the exact same dish, there was pasta, chicken, fries, and honestly, I didn't think I would like that, but actually, I loved it. Anyways, back to the vlog. And since I was in Little India right now, that explained all the cute little shops that I kept on coming across. I guess you could say it was a cultural shock, because as soon as I left the shops, I realized something terrible had happened. So after walking for like, let's say 10 minutes, I just realized I was going the wrong way. So I'm walking back now. Hey, I'm walking here. That's my hostel. There it is. After walking ages, I finally made it into the temple. Being a stupid dummy-dumb tourist meant that I didn't even consider the fact that I'm going into a temple and I'm wearing shorts. This is technically something I shouldn't be allowed to do. The guy at the reception kind of spoke to me and was like, it's fine, go in, just don't do it again. But in case you guys are ever gonna go to a Hindu temple or a Buddhist place of worship or anything like that, make sure to cover up your legs. But other than that, I try to be as respectful as I possibly can. The one thing I love about religion the most is how peaceful you feel when you're inside a temple. And finally came time to head to the center of Singapore because at this point, I'm really starving. But I was not going to waste the opportunity to explore more, so I decided to walk half of the way exploring the remainder of what Little India still had to offer. And here we are in a gold section, I guess, in Little India. One thing the Indian culture is known for is their wear for gold. So it's no surprise that in Little India, in Singapore, that we find a lot of gold stores. I actually grew up in Abu Dhabi in my childhood, which has a lot of Indian influence. So coming here and smelling all those smells, seeing all those things, definitely like rings a bell, reminds me of my childhood, that's for sure. All right, I'm heading straight forward.
7 hours driving on the highway, far away, far away, far away.
And one last thing about Kuala Lumpur you have to know is that it's one of the greenest cities in the world. Even though it's such a big city with so many amazing buildings and architecture, they still have not let go of all the green space.
In my eyes.
Finally, bubble tea.
I ordered this like green tea with like mini bubbles, which I've never had before. They're so tiny. Tastes so good. So this cost me 640 Singaporean dollars, which means all I have left to spend is for the next 2 days. You know, they say the best things in life are free. And that's so true. I'm right here next to the Fountain of Wealth, which is apparently the largest fountain in the world.
The coolest thing is there are people dining all around the fountain because this fountain is actually in the center of the mall. But because I'm on a budget, I had to go somewhere cheap.
Another thing that is free today that I'm aware of is there is the Festival of Music or Voice. So I'm gonna go there. See you guys in a second. And the one thing I do love about Singapore the most is just how safe it is.
Honey, I'm home.
So safe to say, I'm gonna be eating from 7-Eleven tonight. Just, you know, to save a bit. But I don't know what to get. Let's have a look. My backpack is too big. That is what I'm talking about. Should we get that? That way, once I'm done shopping, we're gonna have dinner and a light show. All for free. Well, I mean, not the dinner, but you know. I heard so much about the ham and cheese toasty, so should we try it? I think we should.
Yeah, look, all of my friends going crazy. I gotta brag on myself, I amaze me. I know I'm got something that can phase me. I'm too dope like I'm back in the 80s. Okay, call me and I'm gon' slide. Slide up with me for a hell of a ride. You need a couple wins, they ain't doing it right. Hit up my line, we gon' turn up the night. I got a lot of wins on my dinner plate. Ain't coming down, gotta levitate. I know my next win is the best one, so I tell them that I'm on to the next one.
So the light show should be happening from just over there today at 9:30 p.m. and I think it's almost 9:30. I actually do regret getting my beautiful fancy dinner because there's a lot of affordable food places here. Food is actually not that expensive in Singapore. I think the expensive things are things like houses, rent, cars, stuff like that. I could be wrong, but I live in London and it has a very similar vibe, but I feel like people here are a lot happier and maybe the weather has to do with it. Maybe the culture, I have no idea, but from what I can see in my short visit, that they seem a little bit happier. Over here they've got a little nice karaoke session going on for the locals in the festival today. This is the Voice Festival from the 1st until the 4th of December, which is the time that I happen to be around. It's amazing. Let me show you the singer. I wish I knew some Singaporean so I could sing along, but I can't. Woo!
So, you know, it's a very special collaboration, I feel.
So that was a good show, but honestly, I'm exhausted and starving more than anything. So all I want to do is just sit down, have some food, because this is gonna be my first meal of the day, and it is literally 12 past 9. So I found this amazing spot over here where I can watch the light show, still listen to the music, and get to rest up because I've been walking all day and at this point I'm exhausted. Let's jump in and I'll show you what I got. Honestly guys, I'm starving and I can't believe it got this late and I still haven't had any single proper food. So this is brownies there. Then I've got this green tea, and to top it all off, I've got the famous ham and cheese toastie. Message approved by Zane Brando. Bon appetit. I love this. Alright, without further ado, let's dig into this meal. That is a lot sweeter than I thought it was going to be. Let's see, I heard so much about this ham and cheese toastie. I'm more excited to eat it than anything else in this country or in Southeast Asia. I can honestly say I never knew what hunger is until this day. My god, this was so good. It's okay. I would rate it like 5 out of 10. And just before we completely head off, it's 10 o'clock now and the light show behind me just started. So it's supposed to start every day at 9:30 p.m. but it's always late. And I just wanted to show you guys a quick tour of my little bed. We've got those cool switches that change color. And we've got this very nice curtain that kind of gives you extra privacy. The bathroom though did not pass the vibe check. So I finally made it and I was extremely exhausted when I started this morning, so the first thing I did was grab some caramel frappe with some coffee, some sugar to get me started on the day and wake me up. So after buying this coffee, all I have left is I don't know how I'm gonna do this because the plan is to go to Gardens by the Bay, which I'm pretty sure is not free. So I am finally at Gardens by the Bay and I might have realized just a little problem. It was more than just a little problem. The entry is not 10 Singaporean dollars like I thought. It's actually like $50. Hold on, it says $10 there. Okay, so the entry is $10 for the oceans at the sky. But if you wanted to see everything, it's gonna be 53 Singaporean dollars. So I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow myself to fail the challenge because I'm not gonna be in Singapore anytime soon again. It's gonna cost me $53. I think experiences are more important than money. And there it was, a moment of weakness, a moment of sadness, a moment of failure. I let my urge for coffee in the morning destroy my strength to see all of Singapore with just $99. Can I get the I'm sorry if I let you down. I am sorry, but I'm not gonna be buying the $53 ticket. I'm gonna be buying the $10 ticket. Singaporean dollars, so it's a little bit cheaper. My mother was right. I bring nothing but shame to the family.
and I may have failed this challenge today, but I'm gonna do my best to stay not too far off the budget. I got a ticket for my failure. Yay. To be honest, this is exactly the spot I wanted to come to underneath all those trees. And it turns out to get here, it's actually free. The only thing that does cost 10 Singaporean dollars is if you wanted to go up there. Since I already have my ticket, I might as well go, but like for future reference, I think you can come here for absolutely free. So you don't really need to get up there to enjoy the best part of this area. Since we are here, let's go. Is this here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I felt so little, so tiny like an ant, next to this man-made tree. It was truly as breathtaking and as incredible as it looked right here in this moment. The crazy thing about being so high is you feel an incredible sense of breeze from the wind coming all around you. It was incredible, and I would do it a million times again, even if it meant that I became a failure for it.
Wow, those $10 are so worth it. You have to come up here. This is amazing. For just 10 Singaporean dollars, this is way more than worth it. Honestly, there were other things I was planning on doing today, but I ended up choosing this, and I'm so glad I did because, wow. And truly, I wish you could be here because honestly, the camera is not doing it justice. I feel like I cannot get the entire things that my eyes are seeing in just one little frame. So if you could, 100% come here. Okay, so I just came down and it just hit me. I have an unethical travel hack for you guys, for those who want to try it, but I don't know if you should, and I don't think you should, and I don't recommend it, so don't do it. But I just noticed that it says no entry here, and there's literally nobody checking you. This is the elevator that brings you back down. But I'm just testing this theory to see if it works. Here we go, just like that, you get on the elevator. Now I'm not gonna go ahead and go up because I've already been up. This is the spot to get in for free, but I don't recommend it.
I couldn't tell exactly if I was in the middle of a forest or in the middle of a city. It's honestly the exact definition of the best of both worlds. So if you're ever in Singapore at night, make sure to take yourself on a walk right here.
Let's try that out. This rice cake is exactly what I needed to end the day.
So in the end, I failed this challenge by $9.41, making the total money I spent in Singapore $108.41. But honestly, I would say it was worth every penny and I would do it again. So if you like this, be sure to join me on my next trip to Vietnam, where I'm definitely, probably, most likely gonna survive the $99 challenge. Thank you, until next time.